We're about to get in a fight with Melonhead.
Recently, I got called on in a comment. I know you guys don't see this on a regular basis, but I do. A while ago on this channel, and Austin will toss this in post for the YouTube edit, we did a discussion piece on Taylor Swift sort of like ruining the vinyl industry, because every single Taylor Swift release entails a host of different vinyl variants, just an endless ocean of vinyl variants of every release, so that she could basically like max out the sales on each album and drain the money. Every single member of her audience having to buy like a 5 vinyl variant minimum, like just draining their wallets, just squeezing, just wringing them out. Like Taylor likes to take her audience like this every single time there's a new album, and then she's like, okay, all right, here's one vinyl variant, and here's another vinyl variant, and here's another vinyl variant, and here's one more, and she just bleeds them dry until she has basically like, you know, run out of variants that she can offer them. And it's really kind of created a new meta in the music industry and in the pop industry these days.
Okay, here's where I'm going to disagree with him. I don't think he's wrong, but it's not new. Like, none of this is new, at least not to people that notice. What is new is that there are new forms of prioritizing what they call whales. Whales is a concept of like, you know, people have different access to finances in their lives, and whales are considered the people that are willing to spend any amount of money essentially on any sort of exclusive thing. And where it is new, it is in the area of gacha games. And I could make this like a PowerPoint presentation, but I don't know that I will. I'm just I'm like recording this video from my phone, so that's editing time that I don't know that I have. My point is, whales, they have always existed. That's not new. It's just the business model of selling products might be new. Like, but whales themselves, like people who are willing to. Whales are like super fans, but with money. You can be a super fan of somebody without, you know. That's. I don't know if people back in the 80s and 90s, if they considered super fans the people that would spend many hundreds, many thousands of dollars on a particular thing. Like, and we're talking about music right now. So let's say a musician. I don't know if you, in order to be considered a super fan, then you had to like be the person who spends the most money on a person. I don't know. But it does seem like that is what's new today. What's new today is that the business model, which I guess Taylor Swift is involved in, you're like more of a super fan if you if you spend on what he's talking about, like this business model of having variant albums, I suppose. I haven't followed with the variant stuff. But the business model itself, in my life experience, maybe it was adopted into the music recording label sphere. Maybe they were not doing that before. And why were they? Maybe, and again, I haven't done the research. Maybe they did, but why is it being done now? Well, because the sales revenues at one point, as everyone knows, was bigger for the recording industry, because you literally had to go to a store, buy a physical copy of something, and then that was the only way to listen to music. And then the internet came along, and it no longer became the way to have music. So the variant model, selling like a variant album or a variant single, I guess maybe they were not. The idea is that they weren't doing that before, but the concept of a variant product is not new either, because in my life experience, Pokemon literally did that. Like they created Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Green, and Pokemon Yellow, and it was, the idea was that it was the same game but with a variant thing. The concept, that concept is not new, is what I'm trying to say. Maybe what is new is that this idea that in order to be more of a fan or more appreciative of a fandom that you like, that you have to that you have to that you have to be willing to spend on things like this. I don't know. Let me see what he's saying.
To where now it's become pretty much standard with every album release, in order to like stay relevant on the Billboard charts, like you have to offer all these variants. It's really kind of like, you could even call it an innovation on her part. She is like kind of set a new standard in a lot of ways. Now, as a result of this, every single time any pop girly does any additional variants of anything, the Taylor Swift fans come calling to be like, oh, is Anthony Fantano gonna call this out as well? And the answer is, like, maybe I will offhandedly mention it, but the fact of the matter is, this is just further proving the point of that original video, that all artists are doing this now because Taylor Swift has like helped sort of cast the die of the business model, because this is just the way the pop girlies compete with the other pop girlies now. It just is what it is. And this is also a very funny post to sort of like throw out on the internet, while simultaneously Taylor Swift is trying to max out sales again on the release of this new Toy Story song, doing 3 different CD versions of the same single all at once, with just like different original vocal performances, I guess, on each different CD version of the thing. It's ridiculous. It's preposterous. And honestly, performances, I guess, on each different CD version of the thing. It's ridiculous. Again, on the release of this new Toy Story song.
Also, this variant, I guess I'm not thinking about it yet, but I guess the idea that he's saying that it's silly to package a CD, I guess, in different ways, that is like a variant when it's literally the same thing. I don't know if there's I doubt that there's a difference between the song, but if there is, I guess that would be a true variant. But he's saying like these CDs are just packaged differently. Honestly, I don't care. I don't hate Taylor Swift for engaging in this business model. I think it's actually more roastable for the music fan that may consider that there's the annoying part is being sold something that doesn't really reflect what they're claiming it does. So if these are variant albums, but there's no difference between them, then I would be being sold just like I'm like spending more money. Like I don't know, like how much is there a price difference in these things? Like that part is what's silly, because variant products already exist in like when you buy like cereals and they have like a theme, and you get like a toy inside the cereal depending on randomly which one you get. Like, so it does it like that. The whole variant product thing has existed. It's just, is it silly to do that with like a CD album? I don't know.
In 3 different CD versions of the same single all at once, with just like different original vocal performances, I guess, on each different CD version of the thing. It's ridiculous. It's preposterous. And honestly,
so there are different vocal performances. I don't. Well, I don't know what to say there. I mean, it implies that the fandom of Taylor Swift will feel like their particular, I don't know. This is very on par with the current times. Like everything is individualized. Like people market products like, and this was made for you. Like this was made with a particular personality in mind. Like those YouTube, what is it called? It's some hair product. It's like, is it Pros? Like I'm not talking about the quality of it. That's separate. What I'm saying is that they create this like experience of like, and you do this survey, and then you fill out the survey, and then we will tailor the product to you. Or like the food things, like, and we'll sell you this box of food that you can eat for the week, and it'll be tailored to you. Like everything, like a lot of like sales things today are like that. And maybe back then it wasn't like that. Maybe it was like this generic product. Like if they were selling like a refrigerator, if they were selling like an oven or a brush or anything, it's it's that's the thing. But now there's like this whole business of like people want to spend on something that feels tailored to them. And so I mean, Taylor Swift is just in that environment of the world, and she is engaging in that type of sales through this. But it's also not just her. This is like a collaboration with Disney, or is it Pixar? Because I don't know if Toy Story is Pixar or Disney right now. Maybe it's both. They do that too. I would see like Barbies is not Disney, but there are Disney Barbies, and they like even the Disney princesses are all variants of each other. Like Disney princesses are literally just variants of the same blueprint. Like they definitely have cashed in on this whole variant experience thing. So it has existed before. It's just, is it silly to apply it to a CD album? I guess, I don't know.
Many magnitudes worse than whatever the hell Olivia Rodrigo is doing here with this like 7-inch. So anyway, of course I responded to this in a very snippy way because I am not above responding. And I apologize for that. So, people pressing me on Olivia Rodrigo, doing some 7-inch stuff, doing some variant stuff. And I, in a very sort of tongue-in-cheek way, justified it saying, okay, but Olivia needs to drop multiple variants of her records because she never knows what songs Taylor and her co-writers are going to demand retroactive credits on. The girl deserves to do more than just break even, And that's true. Now, it's kind of funny. Originally, there was a community note on here because the Swiftie audience, the Swiftie sort of gang on Twitter is like one of the most aggressive and really, frankly, like abusive and gaslighty fandoms that are on the internet, and apparently like will enact community notes on you that aren't even factually accurate or addressing the thing that you originally say. The community note that was here at one point said that there was never a lawsuit to pull credits for Taylor Swift on Olivia's songs from Sour. So as I said, nobody said lawsuit. Not every post hoc song credit happens because of a filed lawsuit. Learn your music history. I'm not going to get gaslit by a bunch of bots who've never filled out a job application, and I'm not. There was a song on this record, One Step Forward, Three Steps Back. This track actually does feature a Taylor Swift interpolation of the song New Year's Day, which comes off of, Reputation. The vocal melodies and even the piano section on that track, like clearly just like straight up ripping off like that track. And what most likely happened, because there was not a lawsuit and there were discussions apparently behind the scenes when this record was being released about giving some kind of credit. There clearly was some kind of like agreement for credits going on behind the scenes.
I'm going to pause to look at the track listing because what are we talking about? This is the recent album. And what about it? Oh, they gave her a credit for One Step Forward, Three Steps Back. I mean, I don't
so
know.
that there wouldn't be a lawsuit because it clearly was pulling from Taylor Swift's song. And in the midst of those agreements, there may have also been a push on top of that to say, hey, this part also kind of sounds similar to a part on Taylor Swift's Cruel Summer. The Swifties are correct in arguing that, yes, there was in fact no actual filed lawsuit from Taylor and those who own her publishing in terms of like twisting Olivia's arm.
Like, because you don't have to. Like, if someone... It doesn't have to be a copyright lawsuit. Like, I'm doing this video because Fantano is essentially talking about Taylor Swift, but to me it's not. I'm not doing this video because of Taylor Swift. I'm doing this video because I'm interested in the idea that a person's business model is like being essentially scrutinized, and it just happens to be Taylor Swift, the person who would do that. But then again, that's why are people always surprised by what Taylor Swift does when she literally she's a product of her parents. Like, her dad was some sort of financier guy, like that. She would be that person. She's always going to be that person because she is always thinking in a business model type of way like her parents. So I don't know, why are we always surprised? I just think it's a waste of time to be surprised by what Taylor Swift does. But why did I mention that? Let me see. I have to go back. I mentioned that for a reason.
Making her give credits on those songs, but that doesn't mean.
Oh yeah, because like most people are not. Well, I don't know if most people are or not. I'm not going to talk on that. What I'm trying to say is, music content. I was saying this somewhere in the comments to somebody that you can make similar moods and similar genres, I suppose, without it being copyright, because maybe people are not thinking about this the right way. The better way to think about it is sounds are like paint, and therefore when you paint something, you're not getting sued because you used that shade of red or blue or green or whatever. Like the idea that you can copyright a color would be seen as absurd. So therefore it is similar in that aspect towards sound. There are aspects of music that is copyrighted, but it is the same thing. But because people give this magical, mystical quality to sound as opposed to color, there's more, I guess, copyright protections in the sound space. What I'm trying to say is certain sounds give off certain moods or genres of music, and therefore if you use those sounds, you're always going to come out with a similar feeling or sound as somebody else that would do that. My analogy is to say that it's sort of, it would be silly to copyright the color, any color, and therefore it is also silly to think that sounds are copyrightable, like some of them. And then my point about this is that I think people don't the better way to think about it is that sounds have an actual like psychoacoustics thing about them, that they will produce, like it's like a science. It's more of like a science. It's more like this equals that. Like I don't know that people think like that, because people go off, like they go off learning about music, and then they encounter the concept of like music theory and how whether it is helpful or it's not. The point with that is that there is there is like a formula to feelings through sounds, and if you are touching on the similar things, it's very likely that you'll naturally. I'm making a distinction between copycatting and just naturally going into a sound space that is going to lead to a similar result as somebody else because you are limited in the tools or the paints. Like, it's going to sound similar because there is a scientific formula to that feeling in sound. I don't know that people think that way, but I do, and therefore I see the distinction between doing something that sounds like something else without it being a copy and paste thing. There is a way to copy and paste somebody else's music, and that is copyrightable, protected, but it doesn't all. What's the right word? There is a way to naturally be in the same sound space as somebody else without copy and pasting, is what I'm saying. And I don't know if Olivia Rodrigo. The question is if she does. Well, if she interpolated a direct sound from Taylor Swift, and she credited her. It's not that big a deal. Like in that case, I guess, because she credited her, and then that was it. It didn't have to be something bigger than that, and so you don't always have to be like suing somebody when they just give you credit for what they did. Not the inspiration. What am I trying to say? If you just give someone credit for the thing that they actually are worth crediting for, then there's not really that big of a deal, as it seems like.
That there wasn't like a backroom agreement and a discussion and some pressure being placed on Olivia and her team to sort of say, hey, listen, you clearly interpolated this one song. We're going to get credits on it. That's great. Love that. Fantastic. But we've heard through the record or have sort of seen you, unfortunately, admitting on camera that this specific song also inspired you.
But I wanted like the last bridge to kind of like go crazy. And I love Cruel Summer. It's one of my favorite songs ever. I love that like the yelly vocals in it, like the harmonized yells that she does. I feel like they're like super electric and like moving, and so I wanted to do something like that.
Even though when you listen to Deja Vu and you listen to Cruel Summer, it is not a note for note comparison similarity. There is not a melody on Deja Vu that is the same melody from Cruel Summer, in the same way that you could say, yeah, these piano parts from One Step Forward, Three Steps Back and these piano parts from New Year's Day are pretty much the same. The vocal melodies, you could line them up and they're pretty damn similar. There's a real clear similarity there, musically and instrumentally.
Okay, but here's what I want to say. Here's where I'm advocating for songwriters. I guess there's like a video recording of Olivia Rodrigo saying that she was inspired by a particular section. Here's what I would ask. I don't know if Olivia Rodrigo. Here's where the music fans will actually get into a fight. I don't know if Olivia Rodrigo is I don't know the extent of her involvement in the writing process of the song. I don't know if the people she works with, if they were, like sort of wanting her to go in a certain direction versus another. I don't know how much agency Olivia Rodrigo had in including this idea that, well, we like that piano sound from a Taylor Swift record and we want to use it to interpolate it into our song. It could be the record label placing expectations on the contracted person, Olivia, to have certain sales model. It could just be the fault of the record label doing this because they are also involved in the sales and distribution aspect of the music product. So therefore they may, I don't know how much of the music sales part that originated from Olivia. I don't know, and therefore it is harder to place like this, like, I don't know, this stupid hate that people are commenting on towards her decisions of a business company, essentially. I don't know. There's more. It's more nuanced than to say that, well, Olivia is copying Taylor Swift, and then Taylor Swift fans are apparently upset that that she's copying Taylor Swift for some reason.
What Olivia did on Deja Vu is merely sort of like, hey, this one.
Another point that is similar, but I find it more interesting, is that is Olivia Rodrigo it's actually not about her. It's about anyone. Is any person who is saying, I want this to be like this other thing. Is that something that in today's world that is seen as like not artistic or taboo? Like, I want to do what this person is doing, because I guess she is saying that I wanted to do a record like that. If someone is heard saying that, is that less artistic, and therefore is that the reason? I don't recall the main arguments of the Swifties, but is that the reason why they're like apparently upset about Olivia Rodrigo like copycatting Taylor Swift? I don't know. We'll see.
It's one of my favorite songs ever. I love that, like, the yelly vocals in it, like the harmonized yells that she does. I feel like they're like super electric and like moving, and so I wanted to do something like that.
Even though when you listen to Deja Vu and you listen to Cruel Summer, it is not a note for note comparison similarity. There is not a melody on Deja Vu that is the same melody from Cruel Summer, in the same way that you could say, yeah, these piano parts from
okay, here's why I think it's interesting. I don't know if it's Olivia Rodrigo saying this because she believes it, or it's because the record label is telling her to appeal to Swifties, but it like backfired somehow. I can imagine that someone in the sales department is telling Olivia to like and include Taylor Swift in the conversation, because people who buy her music, maybe they'll want to buy your music if you like appeal to their taste. Why that's important is because I'm not putting myself in it right now, because I'm not like a stan, like I'm not a Swiftie person. I've heard Taylor Swift, and I even like some of her songs, but I'm not like a super fan Swiftie, I guess. And I feel removed from the situation. My point is something else.
once.
Would you appreciate a person who makes music more if they said, this was my original idea or what I wanted to do, or to say, oh, I liked when Taylor Swift did this, and so I wanted to do something like that? I don't know. Like in my mind, I would think like a salesperson would tell Olivia, say that in the interview, because if you say I wanted to do something like Taylor Swift, then maybe people who are like Taylor Swift fans will be inclined to buy your song, because they have because you're implying that your taste is the same as Taylor Swift's taste, and then therefore it appeals to them somehow. But it seems like it backfired, because it doesn't seem like that Taylor Swift fans are liking that. I don't know. But my point is, I don't know if that's really a good way to present yourself, but it's a thing to do.
Step forward, 3 steps back, and these piano parts from New Year's Day are pretty much the same. The vocal melodies, you could line them up, and they're pretty damn similar. There's a real clear similarity there, musically and instrumentally. What Olivia did on Deja Vu is merely sort of like, hey, this one artist here who also inspired me on this other track did these harmonized shouts, and I'm going to attempt to do something similar on my track, which when you're getting into that territory, it's kind of muddy territory. It's muddy waters that I feel like if you actually care about art and you actually care about the creativity, like the freedom of creativity in the modern music industry, I feel like those are doors you don't want to fucking open up, especially if you're Taylor Swift, because Taylor Swift is no stranger to ripping off the aesthetics or the instrumental palettes of her biggest and greatest inspirations over the years, which is sort of like, the point that I'm making here ultimately following this. Can we get a community note on how Lana should get credit?
Okay, but that's what I'm trying to say. Like, what I'm trying to say is, from the perspective of a music fan, if someone who makes music, if they say, I was directly inspired by somebody else, does that make them less artistic or not? Because I don't know that Taylor Swift has ever said, I'm making this song because this other person did this type of song. I don't know if she's ever said that, and maybe that's what's being like roasted, I guess, that Olivia Rodrigo would say I'm doing this because of Taylor Swift. Maybe she just shouldn't say that. Maybe she shouldn't say that I'm doing this because of Taylor Swift. Maybe that'll just solve her problems.
For writing Cardigan, since it rips off every element of her style with no creativity or buffer whatsoever. If you guys remember Cardigan from the folklore era, I'm sorry, but that is a Lana Del Rey song. That is a Lana Del Rey fucking song. The pianos, the moody atmosphere, even the way Taylor Swift sort of inflects there and sort of sings in this kind of like lower, slower
yeah, but there's also a Lana Del Rey type of genre in The Life of a Showgirl. And I don't remember which song I'm thinking about, but I totally hear it.
That is a Lana Del Rey song, Dead to Rights. And she even did a Lana Del Rey appearance on another track that is also a ripoff of a Lana Del Rey song. I feel like Taylor was almost like doing a mea culpa there and being like, okay, listen, I totally unabashedly ripped off your sound, so I will like actually have you involved in my music. If you want to go back even further than that, like create more of a kind of, one-to-one scenario in terms of like intergenerational inspiration, how many songs in the Taylor Swift catalog, especially in the early years, can Shania Twain go after Taylor Swift over? Even the new Taylor Swift single for the fucking Toy Story soundtrack, she is right back in her Shania Twain bag. I think it's been like a point of at least a couple years since she's like made another song that had like such an overt Shania Twain influence. Like if Taylor and her team,
I don't know the extent of her parents' involvement in her music, like her actual music business, but it does seem like they have been. And you're mentioning that Shania Twain, or that she copycatted Shania Twain. Is that what? It sounds like that's what you're saying. So, I don't know that. I'm not like into that. I don't spend time on that. But what I'm trying to say is, I wonder how good her parents are at copyright, because she was a baby when she was a teenager, so she's not like a genius, like she doesn't know things she doesn't know. So when she was a teenager, she probably didn't know a lot of the copyright stuff, and so someone was really if Taylor Swift is being accused that when she was younger that she was copycatting Shania Twain, then someone was in her life making sure that her copyright, or the music products that were to be sold, that they were not going to be like copyrighted, essentially. That's what I'm trying to say. So like whoever was in her life, maybe it was her parents thinking about the copyright aspect of the sound, I don't know, but someone was definitely in her life if apparently she was copying Shania Twain.
Is going to go after young songwriters like Olivia Rodrigo. I feel like Taylor should pay some Shania Twain retribution or something, because Shania deserves some credit for inspiring Taylor Swift in the same way Taylor clearly inspired Olivia Rodrigo, and her publishers apparently felt owed money for doing so. So I don't know that. What do you mean? What does that mean? I don't know any Taylor Swift record when she started that was a direct copy of Shania Twain. I don't know. But
Why do people think that?
Why Taylor should get off scot-free for ripping off other artists over and over and over again, when she and her publishers clearly think Olivia shouldn't get away with it. All of Taylor's music is just a watered-down version of something else. Honestly, a lot of country music copies just other country music. It's true. It's true. And that's exactly why you shouldn't sue, or you shouldn't go after someone behind the scenes over just mere aesthetics, production aesthetics, because production aesthetics are so much more in terms of like musical authorship, so much more of a gray area. And again, if you're a Taylor Swift fan who genuinely feels like Taylor Swift and her writers should be getting the millions and millions of dollars, and it has pulled millions of dollars out of Olivia's and Dan Nigro's pockets, these credits from Deja Vu and these credits from One Step Forward, Three Steps Back, there have been articles written on these credits. If they feel like they're entitled to that money, then Taylor Swift should be paying money too to the artists who aesthetically inspired her, because the aesthetics of her early records, again, are not creative, are not dynamic, are not original, and are not interesting. A lot of that shit is ripped off directly from Shania Twain. And while I would argue deeper into Taylor's career, I would say she kind of like hit upon a more distinct sound. Even her more recent releases are not without their moments where she is very clearly, directly, aesthetically inspired by other artists too. Like, again, Lana Del Rey. She has ripped off Lana Del Rey on at least a few occasions, and Lana should be getting credits for Cardigan, in my opinion, because if Lana Del Rey did not exist, Cardigan would not exist. It's just true. Or if those lyrics existed, they would have a very different sound attached to them, because Cardigan does have undeniably a Lana Del Rey type sound. But apparently, like, there has been like a little bit of an ongoing Cold War.
I don't know. You're making an argument, Fantano. You're making an argument that I cannot really touch on, because it's like you're implying. Why? What songs are you talking about that are apparently inspired by Shania Twain? I don't know. But also touching on the Cardigan thing, I think it's enough to say someone inspired a certain genre of sound, maybe, and therefore I explored my original version in that genre. I don't know that it's debatable if Taylor Swift should credit financially Lana Del Rey in the royalties of a song, even if just because it cohabitates a similar genre that someone else maybe is known for. I don't know, because like the whole thing about copyright is that it has to be like a direct rip-off, like a copy and paste of that thing, and you don't have to copy and paste to even naturally find a similarity. Like, you could even want to be in the same genre space knowingly and still not come out with a copy and pasted product. So I would imagine it's very contextual. It just depends. I don't know.
The Olivia and the Taylor camps that has been sort of like kicked up now as a result of like people arguing over these credits and whether or not Olivia was done kind of dirty here, even though there wasn't like a formal lawsuit that was fired. A lot of people have been sort of like drawing attention to this New York Times podcast conversation.
Okay, yes to the idea that if Olivia Rodrigo has to credit inspiration people. Yeah. If Olivia Rodrigo has to do that, then yes. Okay, sure. And then Taylor Swift should also be expected to do the same thing. Sure. But I just don't know if the scenario applies when this is only occurring because Olivia Rodrigo literally like interpolated someone else's sound. I don't know that Taylor Swift has ever interpolated someone else's sound without giving them royalties. I don't know.
Where Olivia does look quite sad about sort of like this, again, kind of weird Cold War dynamic and the perception of her among Taylor's audience of being like duplicitous or someone who is like a thief or something like that.
You think people wonder those things that were tough for you early in your career, did that leave a frost between you and other songwriters? Is there a frost between you and Taylor? Like, is that something that hovers over your mind? Is it something that you think is a construction of the people who are doing internet detective work? How do you view that now that you're a few years removed from the initial kind of like ruptures?
I don't know. I think I tried to not let it like get to me or upset me, I think I just try to keep it trucking. I think there's no use so long ago. I think there's no use in like harping on it. I just try to make songs that I love and try to be kind and good to other people and supportive of other people. And I've always like tried to be like that. And at the end of the day, I think that's all you can do.
Unfortunately, Taylor, her lawyers, her money, and her abusive, bullying, idiotic stan base on Twitter, because it's not the entire Taylor Swift fan base, frankly. Taylor Swift has a very massive, large audience, the vast majority of which are just normal, regular, everyday people. It's really more the ugly and aggressive fandom online that is annoying to deal with, and unfortunately pushes forward these false narratives as if like every single idea that Taylor farts out is like a wholly original concept that like wasn't derived from anything or anywhere, which is absolutely, positively not true at all. When it comes to like most artists, even my favorite artists, most things are borrowed from somewhere else, you know. And unfortunately, the way that a lot of these lawsuits and credit agreements go, sure, there are, you know, legitimate cases where somebody has pulled maybe a bit too much inspiration writing wise from another artist's work, and it does sort of like amount to at least some level of plagiarism in to one degree or another, and you know, maybe some credit is owed, maybe a sample was taken, something like that. I feel like that is totally fair, even if some of those sample agreements in terms of the splits can get pretty ridiculous. But with that being said, I feel like a lot of the times how these things end up ruling is really kind of coming down to whether or not somebody has enough money to throw at the situation. And you have to kind of take into account at this point, Olivia Rodrigo was not quite at the level of popularity that she is now. She probably didn't have the same kind of leverage in the music industry that she does now. She didn't have the amount of money that she does now. And maybe to one degree or another, she was kind of thinking, hey, maybe if I actually try to fight this, I'll get absolutely crushed because this is a person and this is a publisher that has more money, has more aggressive fans. I'll be attacked and slandered on.
But it's not really about that. I'm not dissing Olivia, but if she was saying she was part of the writing process and that she literally thought, well, I'm gonna include this interpolation of Taylor Swift's record or whatever, then you are acknowledging that you were directly just copy and pasting something about somebody else, and you are acknowledging that. So therefore, this is not the same thing as another copyright case that would be like more debatable when she acknowledges herself that she wanted to include that sound. So I these are two different contexts, I think. Why would she fight something she knows that she already like? She says, I acknowledge that I copied or I wanted to interpolate that sound into a song. She wasn't trying to like steal from her. She was just saying that she was going to give her credit for that. And so she didn't have to go through that whole ordeal. Like, I don't see it as that they perceived it as this like fight against a person who has billions of dollars. It was more like just good faith sort of reaction. Yeah, I interpolated it and I'm giving you credit for it. It doesn't have to be this Olivia Rodrigo versus Taylor Swift thing. It doesn't have to be that.
Line mercilessly if this actually does end up going to court. So she was probably trying to save herself some headaches, but I'm sure there are still some regrets there at the end of the day, because nobody wants to give up millions of dollars of publishing and money or whatever just over deciding to, you know, do your harmonies in a certain section of the song a certain way, which again, in terms of like pulling money out of somebody's pocket.
We have a crisis on our hands right now, impacting the safety of our children.
Which, again, in terms of like pulling money out of somebody's pocket is fucking ridiculous. Yeah, not a good look and really cringe and really embarrassing. And it's funny that the Swifties do not want you talking about it, because ultimately the truth of the matter is here that this is not a good look for Taylor. It makes her look like a bully. It makes her look greedy, and it makes her look weird. And, you know, again, just not a good look. This is kind of the funny part of this dynamic. A lot of the Swifties like to act like, oh, well, Taylor and Jack and da-da-da-da-da, they didn't know about any of it. And they had no clue. They had no idea. So you're telling me that if Shania Twain or Lana Del Rey did exactly what I just recommended earlier in this stream and start going after their royalties and their splits for certain aesthetic comparisons across particular Taylor Swift tracks, that she wouldn't know, that she wouldn't be putting money toward fighting off those lawsuits, that she would have no fucking idea any of that was going on. She would just be none the wiser, and she'd be like, oh, you know, it's whatever, you know, it's like, oh, giving up a little songwriting credit for a track or two here or there for some inspiration that I took, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Taylor is obsessed with owning her music, and I feel like, you know, every artist has a right to be to a certain degree. So there's no fucking possible way on the planet that these kinds of decisions or agreements are happening.
Well, I follow what you're saying, but I feel like I don't think Taylor Swift is going to say, I directly copied somebody else willingly and knowingly. I don't think that she would say that because she's so wanting to be in, like, she wants people to know that she creates her own music. And so I don't know that she would want to be perceived as someone who's copying other people. So did she get inspired by Lana Del Rey? I do think so. I do think that. But she may not have interpolated Lana Del Rey directly. So I feel like she would say, she would probably be more someone to say, and I did not copycat her. I feel like she would defend herself by saying that. Like, if people were to say that she was inspired by Lana Del Rey, she'll say, yeah, but my songs are not copywriting or not affecting the copyright of Lana Del Rey. I feel like she would fight that. I feel like that's what that would be her approach. She would say, this is, I did not infringe, I did not plagiarize. That's probably what she would do.
With Taylor just being like, and just having no clue what the fuck is happening. It's ridiculous. Taylor, if anything, should be celebrating Olivia and helping to put her on and, sort of like getting closer to her and aligning with her in any way that she possibly can. But Taylor's almost playing like a little bit of, and I don't think she's like this across the board with all young songwriters out there. But I feel like when it comes to Olivia, Taylor's almost taking a Nicki Minaj type approach. The way that Nicki is sort of like very confrontational and directly against anybody of this new generation who's like replacing her in terms of like importance and relevancy, even though many of them are like so directly inspired by her and a lot of what she's done over the years. But she just takes such an oppositional approach to a lot of her biggest fans and a lot of her kids in the music industry. And I feel like in order to kind of like keep yourself relevant and keep yourself popular and keep yourself on the good side of all of these audiences, like the best thing that you could do is like play ball and embrace these people. I mean, it's like, looking at those early Olivia interviews and seeing sort of like the glow of excitement on her face when she's like so passionate about the fact that like, yeah, this song that I wrote was so deeply inspired by this other artist and this other song that I absolutely.
I don't know if we're gonna get to this point in the in Fantano saying this, but I made a comment somewhere here that at one point it's funny how Taylor Swift. I don't know if people my age thought these thoughts, but I did when she would show up to like award shows, and it seemed like she was wanting to be very like friendly with the people who were TV actresses, like Disney TV actresses, like Hilary Duff, Miley Cyrus, Demi Lovato, and Selena Gomez. She it seemed like she was trying to be very friendly with them in that like 15 years ago, because Taylor Swift, technically, even though she was a country star singer, she was not a TV actress, and I feel like she was trying to be in the same space as a Disney TV star, even though she was not. So it's funny that in this case, a Disney TV star, aka Olivia Rodrigo, is trying to be like Taylor Swift when one point Taylor Swift was trying to be like a Disney TV star. It's just, that's kind of funny. It's ironic.
Positively love and is like one of my favorite artists of all time, and you're going to sort of either advertently or inadvertently play a role in sort of like stamping out that passion by pulling money out of this artist's pocket and dampening their glow. Olivia's probably going to be thinking twice every step forward from here about whether or not anything in her music sounds a little too Taylor coded, because of probably the fear of like, those lawyers coming through again to be like, hey, so we sort of heard this part that
or
not anything in her music sounds a little too Taylor coded, because of probably the fear of like, those lawyers coming through again to be like, hey, so we sort of heard this part that kind of sounds a little bit like Taylor Swift, so you might actually need to pony up some dough there. Very, 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 in my opinion, exploitative and weird.
I was going to say something. Taylor, whatever. Let me read the comments. Taylor Swift fans buy the same album 30 times and then celebrate when she has huge album sales. like it's a measure of quality of her music. Okay. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. I guess ironically, Taylor Swift gets to be Disney adjacent because she has this Toy Story collaboration, and she is part of the world of Disney now, I guess. When she was always around the Disney stars 15 years ago, I guess. You know, kudos to her for writing a song that's on Toy Story. Swifties are more interested in celebrity worship than music. That's a hot take. Other than there I mentioned that. Life of a Showgirl track literally has an identical melody in the chorus as Cool by the Jonas Brothers. I don't know. I wouldn't know. She shouted on the same beat as Taylor Swift. I get why that's funny, but I feel like it's more of the fact that they're using Taylor Swift as like a marketing tool. Like Taylor Swift the person, that's Taylor Swift. But to mention her name in like marketing your own music, maybe that's what some Taylor Swift fans are like noticing, that they like mention Taylor Swift when she does not need to be mentioned. If they just stop saying we want it to be like her, then you get to be your own person. If you're always saying I want it to be like that person, then you never get to be original. So I don't know, maybe she just needs to not depend, maybe people who are selling music just needs to not depend on mentioning Taylor Swift at all. Well, suing Olivia over the way she sings is like hardcore bands suing each other over because they both have a breakdown. I don't know that this occurred. I don't know that Olivia was sued. I don't know the reason why she sued. I don't know. My point is, you can definitely copy someone else's vocal composition. I don't know if people get the difference. There's a difference between the way that you sing, like the way that your vocal technique, and the actual composition that comes out. Those are two different things, and copyright goes over the composition. So if Olivia did sing the same composition, then it would be like copycatting. But the vocal style itself is not really. I've never known that it's copyrighted. So that would be it's there. Those are two different things. Whoa, 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 whoa. This is what you're talking about? I don't know what Be My Baby is. This person is saying the truth is, if even if somebody is offering you songwriting credits and money, and Swifties claim that Olivia did it on her own choice, you do not accept them if you have no right to their work whatsoever. I don't know. Do I have to go looking for the song that they interpolated? I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna close this here. So, I will know. Let me see. Did Taylor Swift actually sue her, or did Olivia Rodrigo give her the writing credits? I don't know. She quite literally did not sue, is what they're saying. Okay. Okay, what is this song? Now I'm just gonna look up what is the song that they're talking about.
Whatsoever. If you guys remember Cardigan from the folklore era, I'm sorry, but that is a Lana Del Rey song. That is of Olivia's and Dan Nigro's pockets. These credits from Deja Vu and these credits.
It was Deja Vu. It was Deja Vu that they're giving her credits for. It's half of the publishing revenue in the case of Deja Vu. Really? Okay, let me see. Olivia Rodrigo has given up millions in publishing royalties. Oh, it's Kristen Robinson that did this article in 2021. Damn, that girl has been around in the behind the scenes. I love her podcasts. How funny. She's pretty sharp. She's really good at me. Like, she's not just interviewing people in like a superficial celebrity type of like, what is your life like type of. She's actually really good about musical, business related interviews, I guess. So I like her. Um, okay, what is this? So they're saying day job. No, I don't want to see. Rodrigo has expressed that retroactive addition of the credits was confusing and caught her off guard. A lot of these words, I don't know if they came from her mouth herself. If you... Is it really that complicated that if you are saying, I was trying to... I don't know. Apparently, Olivia said that she was trying to do a certain sound like Taylor Swift. I don't know. Let me see. While the two initially exchanged supportive messages and gifts, their public interactions abruptly stopped shortly after the credits debacle, sparking internet rumors of tension. I don't know. That's a very weird phenomenon. People assuming that you're like friends, or people assuming why you are not a friend of somebody in the life of other people is sort of a weird thing. They're just two people that exist in the world, and they don't. Even if they are friendly, it doesn't mean that they are. That they have business together, I suppose. So if they were to, and then people want to debate on why they are not able to work on the same business, I don't know. It just because they could theoretically make a song together, I guess people are like saying, well, they can't make a song together because they hate each other. Is that really like... Is that really newsworthy? I don't know. Like, it's like they're people are focused on the fact that they are not doing business together. That's kind of weird. Rodrigo expressed that she was caught off guard by the retroactive addition to the writing credits. Did she say that, or why are people, or why is that on here? Why is this linked to this video?
So the song Deja Vu was her second single. That song came out, everybody loved it, it was a smash hit. She broke records with it, and during the BTS filming of the music video, she says, like, I love in Cruel Summer how Taylor screams the bridge. So I wanted to do something like that. That's why I scream on the bridge, because, like, I love that song so much.
It inspired that part of the song.
And after her album came out, it all of a sudden was announced and or just, like, leaked through like music credits that Olivia had added Taylor and all of Taylor's songwriters to the writers of those two songs. They get credits. They've made millions off of the
Oh, right. You were telling me that
off
in the
of
car.
her music.
Yeah.
I will. So something that the Swifties love to say when people are like, "Why did Taylor reach out and ask for those credits? Like, why would you go after a 17-year-old who loves you and like demand credits?" And people are like, "She did not." Swifties are like, "She did not demand credits. Olivia loves Taylor and gave her those credits." So what happened was Olivia's publicly loving Taylor. Then all of a sudden, Olivia has credited Taylor. She meets her at the British Music Awards and she posts a photo with Taylor. She doesn't write a caption. She just puts one emoji of a monkey, which is crazy because like Olivia would drop like little songs that she wrote or covers and like write memoirs of how much she loves Taylor and like why she's doing. So like the fact that she met her idol for the first time and didn't say that it meant a lot to her, that it was cool. She just like went, took a photo, posted it, never talked about Taylor again.
She's heartbroken.
Never talked about Taylor again.
I don't think that Olivia would just give credits to Taylor. I feel like Taylor's team would reach out and shark on Olivia over like details.
Yeah, they did. And
that's more how it goes in the music
Then
industry.
as the months progressed, like Olivia came out with her next album called Guts, and I went to like a surprise, it was like the secret concert that happened right before she like did an actual tour. It was like a few days after the album came out, or no, it was before the album even dropped. She just sang a couple songs from it, and she talked about on this new album she had a song called Teenage Dream, and at the end of it there's a baby crying, and it's her producer Dan's baby, and they made a joke on stage where I don't even know if it's recorded, it might be, but they made a joke on stage where they were like, we didn't have to give her credits, so they had that. And then Guts drops and there's a song called The Grudge. That's the song I played for you. I don't care what you Swifties say. I am also a Swiftie. I love Taylor Swift. That song is about Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is in the wrong. So the song Deja Vu was her second single. That song came out. Everybody loved it. It was a smash hit. She broke records with it. And during the BTS filming of the music video, she says, like, I love in Cruel Summer how Taylor screams the bridge. So I wanted to do something like that. That's why I scream on the bridge, because, like, I love that song so much.
It inspired that part of the song.
And after her album came out, it all of a sudden was announced and or just, like, leaked through like music credits that Olivia had added Taylor and all of Taylor's songwriters to the writers of those two songs. They get credits. They've made millions off of the
Oh, right. You were telling me that
off
in the
of
car.
her music.
Yeah.
I will. So something that the Swifties love to.
This is really rich. I love both Taylor and Olivia's music so much, and I hate that Taylor did this. Unfortunately, I think that she felt threatened by Olivia's songwriting skills. This person does not know what they're talking about. I'm not being mean to this person. It's just that assumption is just not based on reality. I'm pretty sure. It's not about being threatened about songwriting skills. It has to do with just. I guess it just has to do with keeping credits on what you created. If this is more than just like a copyright thing, this is more about like the idea of people not separating the person from the business. It does seem like Taylor Swift, business-wise, she wants to keep credited for the things that she does, and that's valid. I think that's a valid thing. So would Taylor Swift tell people, would she tell Olivia Rodrigo's people about her not liking if someone copycatted her? Yeah, that's probably true. That probably could have happened. Um, we don't. Olivia Rodrigo didn't. It doesn't. I don't know if Olivia Rodrigo defended herself in saying that she didn't plagiarize Taylor Swift, when it seems like she acknowledged that she wanted to write a song that was like that, apparently. She probably doesn't want to get in a fight with Taylor Swift because she was already trying to appeal to music fans as if she could write songs. I feel like this has to do more with with the concept of marketing. Like the idea that, and I don't know that Olivia had this thought, but someone in Olivia's life in the recording industry had this thought. They thought, we are going to appeal to music fans, and I guess the girls, because it seems like the girls are the ones that are involved in this. We want to appeal to young women who are maybe going to like this music, and we want them to know that Olivia Rodrigo is able to write songs like Taylor Swift. Because apparently being able to say, I write songs like Taylor Swift, is a marketing tool. It's like to say, I'm able to write a song like Taylor Swift, and therefore you will like my music. It didn't work out in her favor, though, because even if people think that you can write a song like Taylor Swift, then they're coming for you because they're like saying, oh, well, you're just copycatting. You're like copy and pasting what she does, and therefore you owe her money. It didn't work out in Olivia's favor to say, I can write songs like Taylor Swift, because then she's getting accused of copycatting. So maybe the real issue is, did she or did she not plagiarize Taylor Swift? I don't know. I don't recall the bridge of Deja Vu and Cruel Summer right now. I don't know. We'll see.
Say when people are like, why did Taylor reach out and
oh yeah. So what was I saying? I don't think Taylor Swift is threatened by Olivia Rodrigo just because she said that she can write a song like Taylor Swift. In fact, that would probably be funny to her, I would think, because it's like, you're not able to be Taylor Swift. Like you would have to be yourself. You like, wait a minute. I'm having a thought. When did Fortnite, that album, when it came out, didn't it come out last year? And this Deja Vu thing happened like in 2021, apparently. Didn't Taylor Swift wrote that song, what is it called? Yeah, I can do it with a broken heart. Doesn't she say at the end of the video, I don't know if I can play the song and upload the video because maybe it'll get copyrighted. At the end of the song, doesn't she say, try and come for my job? I don't know, is that like supposed to be like a sassy comment about this idea that other people can write Taylor Swift songs? That's very funny. I don't think she's threatened by other people. I don't think she's threatened by the idea that other people would try to copy her, because try to come for my job means that she's already Taylor Swift. That like who she is who she is, and therefore you would never be able to be her. You would have to be yourself. So her saying try to come for my job is like, it's like she's saying like it's useless. It doesn't even you couldn't even be me if you tried, because there's only one Taylor Swift, and that's true. So like, that's funny. I don't think she's threatened by other people claiming that they can write songs like Taylor Swift. So what was the part from Deja Vu that that they were saying that is copycatted? She thought of the title Guts as an instinct, conviction, life's dank parts when writing Sour. What? That's a weird way to write that. But the songs didn't come as easily. She had the thought of the title as an instinct, conviction, life's dank parts when writing Sour. That is such a weird hyphenated sentence. It's weirdly hyphenated. But the songs didn't come as easily. There were a good few months where I would sit at the piano and all I would think about was how I was never going to make something as good, or all the mean things that people on Twitter would say. Adding a new studio to the mix would have meant more anxiety and doubt. Oh my God, we're spending thousands of dollars and I feel like I'm not writing anything good. Someday she went in and cried. She says this while smiling. It's the antithesis of creativity. What do you mean? What is this about? The current climate where inspiration can quickly become a copyright issue. Who is Elvis Costello? Elvis Costello was more sanguine about her songs. Brutal's echoes of his Pump It Up. It's how rock and roll works. He tweeted in response to criticism of Olivia. You take the broken pieces of another thrill and make a brand new toy. I was so green to how the music industry worked. I feel like now I know much more about the industry and better equipped in that regard. It wasn't something I thought about too much. I mean, I don't know what it's like to be Olivia Rodrigo. I don't know. Some fans are convinced that Vampire is about Swift. I don't know. Well, people are speculating. A lot of this is a waste of time. The point is, did she or did she not plagiarize Cruel Summer? That because that at the end of the day, that's what it's about. Did Olivia Rodrigo plagiarize Cruel Summer or not? I don't know. I'm not gonna play the music because the video will just get copyrighted. But you can. I'll have to look it up, and then how would I do that? I don't. Oh, I know. Okay, hold on. Okay, so I'm gonna listen to the Deja Vu track bridge, but on headphones. Okay, I'm going to pause it on the second chorus right now because I haven't gotten to the bridge yet. Honestly, none of this sounds like Taylor Swift. Like none of the chorus or the pre-chorus or the verses, like not even the way that she sings and the way that she writes a melody is not like Taylor Swift. So let me get to the part where I don't know. Okay, I guess that's the bridge. I heard the bridge. I don't know what's the other song. The Cruel Summer song. Wait a minute. Okay. Maybe there is something to this. Let me see. Okay, I am literally playing the first 3 seconds, and what stuck out to me is that the beat, like how to explain this easily. I have to go back. Okay, there instrumentation wise, at the beginning of Deja Vu, the first 6 seconds, versus the first 6 seconds of Taylor Swift's Cruel Summer, there's nothing the same. Like, the instruments are not the same. The instrument is like this like music box type of sound playing the Deja Vu melody. In the Cruel Summer track, there's this bass line and drum groove. What they have similar is that they're in like a similar tempo, but they're not if there is anything related, it's the tempo and maybe the bass line. But there is no bass line in the first 6 seconds of Deja Vu. Okay, I don't think that Deja Vu sounds like Cruel Summer in any other part besides maybe the bridge, as they mentioned. Would that equal 50% royalties? I don't know. Um, Let me go back to the Cruel Summer thing, because there was something I heard similar, but I don't know. Hold on. Okay. I got through the first chorus, and honestly, maybe they should have. Apparently, the bridge is the part that people are finding contention with. I haven't gotten to that yet, but the chorus, everything from the first chorus prior, they have a similar arrangement, but I don't know that you can copyright an arrangement. This probably involves Jack Antonoff, like the way that the long rhythm plays at the bottom of the sound. It's that. It's the chord progression synth. It's like it goes like. Duh, um, duh. That's present in. When I say that, it's present in the other song. I don't mean that it's the same pitch. I mean that the arrangement is also. There's also. It's a different instrument, but you cannot. That's annoying. You can't copyright an arrangement just because. All of these words are very confusing. You can copyright an arrangement, but it's based off of whether or not you copy and pasted it or not. The idea that that a song sounds similar because of one chord, it's not the chord progression, it's the style of the rhythm, but all of that is very pop. Like, all of that is in the pop of the genre. So that can't be enough to say that it was plagiarized, because it's in the same genre. Like, this similarity of a long rhythm being played in a way that is indicative of the style, that's not unique to Taylor Swift. Even if it does invoke a similar feeling. Okay, on the vocal melody, Taylor Swift is singing the way that she says, summer, like she goes, I'm not able to do that key. Basically, the way that she goes from a lower note to a higher note, summer, is similar to the way that Olivia would say it's not about the pitch, it's about the beat. Like, saying deja vu in a similar time frame as opposed to Cruel Summer, that is similar, but it's not unique to Taylor Swift. So I don't think those, even if there, even when there are similarities, it does not mean that it was plagiarized. Okay, I got to the part where I hear it. When she says, just to keep you, the way that she's screaming that, it is like the way that was screamed by Olivia when she says, it's all reused. Okay, I can say that that is the same. But is that plagiarism? Was that worth 50% of the royalties of that song, of Deja Vu? I don't know. Yes, the way that she says, it's all reused, and the way that she says, and the way that Taylor says, just to keep you. Okay, that's the same. Cool. But is that plagiarism? I don't think so. So maybe Taylor Swift shouldn't. So now people are saying Taylor Swift shouldn't have even accepted the money, or that she shouldn't. It's possible that lawyers would have talked to Olivia if there was plagiarism, but I don't know. Now I don't know. Now we don't know, because she wasn't defending herself about being unique and in her approach, or at arriving at her decision, because she was saying that she wanted to write a song, or she wanted to I understand the argument now, because Fantano is saying that Taylor also has written songs in the genre of like Lana Del Rey. And if Olivia wants to write a song in the genre of what Taylor Swift does, then she should be able to do that without Taylor Swift claiming that it's plagiarism. I get that part. Now, what I don't know is maybe the reason why she gave her credit, aside from not wanting to be in like a legal thing about it, she said that she said that she wanted to copy something about Taylor Swift's writing style, and her saying that now makes her perceived as that she did plagiarize. So maybe that's why she was just like, yeah, I did acknowledge that I wanted to do that, and therefore now I look like I plagiarized her. That is probably why she had to give her credits, or if she did, we don't know if she did it on her own willingness. The question, did she plagiarize her in a real way though? That implies that the way that she sang the song in that one, in like 3 seconds of the entire song, that would not be worth 50% of royalties. I don't think so. I don't think so. That's the only thing that I would say is like, okay, that's like the same, like very similar, it's very the same, but I don't think it's worth 50% of the song. After hearing both songs, most of Deja Vu is not plagiarizing Cruel Summer. Like, it's not the same song. But in the bridge, it is very similar, the way that she says, just to keep you, and then it's all reused. But also, what makes it similar is the rhyming scheme. It's they both use oo vowels, and so people will hear the rhyme scheme and then think they're saying similar things. It doesn't matter that the words are different. The rhyming scheme sounds similar in that 3-second thing. And also the bridge has that bass line. Well, in the Taylor Swift Cruel Summer track, the bridge has this bass line with a guitar. No, it's not a guitar. It's like I'm thinking of Deja Vu. It's like a synth instrument. It's like a guitar type of groove. Like it's at the very bottom, and it's really what it's doing. It's causing stability in the what its function is really to be like a stable unit throughout the bridge, and then Taylor Swift is really singing more. I want to say the word erratically, but I don't know if people would get that. her vocal melody is a bit more everywhere. It's not stable. It's not in the same position. It is very fluctuating, and it that is good because she gets to do that because of that type of design. My point is that guitar thing is present. The synth stable thing is present in the Deja Vu bridge because there is a guitar that does that. The whole dun 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 dun, but it's not the same melody. So even though the arrangement is similar, is that why they're crediting Jack Antonoff? Because the way that they wrote the bridge is like that. I am not debating whether or not those 3 seconds are similar. I am saying 3 seconds of a portion of your song is not worth 50% of the royalties. And B, is 3 seconds of similarity even plagiarizing? I don't know that it is. So the fact that Olivia Rodrigo did say that she was deriving her work from Taylor Swift. Apparently, she did say that. Is that the only? There's a distinction between actual plagiarism, and then claiming that you derive your work from Taylor Swift. The fact that she said, I am deriving my work from Taylor Swift, essentially is really why she is looking like she plagiarized. Because I don't know, nor do I think that 3 seconds of something similar would be plagiarism. Though I do acknowledge that there are similarities. So maybe Olivia should have just defended her copyright. Who knows? Now we don't know. And however, though, there is a song that she credited her from the start. I thought that Wikipedia Okay. I thought the song that was in question was One Step Forward, Three Steps Back. Okay. So I'm gonna use this apparently. Just read it. One step forward, three steps back details the impact of a relationship and the subject's mixed responses via text message. The song interpolates the piano chords from Swift's New Year's Day, the final track of her sixth studio album, Reputation. Rodrigo states that she had the verse and chorus of one step forward, three steps back, and decided to play the verse and the chorus over the chords of New Year's Day, which she thought were beautiful. See, that alone makes you think that she is in this habit of plagiarizing, because apparently the people are hearing her say. Also, what Olivia Rodrigo is facing that other musicians have never faced, other musicians were not being recorded 24/7. Like people from the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, they were not recording themselves saying these things, I don't think. Even if they were being inspired by other people. So therefore, we are living in a time where people saying that you are acknowledging that you were the point is not inspiring. The point is copy and pasting. Basically, they were saying that Olivia Rodrigo copy and pasted Taylor Swift's chords into the song, and therefore that is what's considered plagiarism. What I am saying is that it's possible that people before being recorded 24/7, that they were also doing this thing of like borrowing from other people's styles or taste and then adding it to their own, which probably did happen. So Olivia Rodrigo is now having to realize that she is not the same type of musician as the musicians from the past, because she is being recorded in a way that they were not. So it's just a different type of environment. And she is saying that, oh, I wanted to use the piano chords from Taylor Swift's song, New Year's Day. Like, why do you have to mention that? Like, why are you mentioning... Don't like, why is she mentioning... This is why she's being perceived as plagiarizing, because she is mentioning Taylor Swift too much. Just don't mention her. Like, you can appreciate and even borrow from someone else's style without plagiarizing. I really do believe that, and I think other people believe that as well. But she's coming across as plagiarizing because she's saying that I am taking from this song in this way, like but also on that note, this is the also saying that she decided to play her own melody over the chords of New Year's Day. That alone does not mean that it's plagiarizing, because chord progressions are not copyrightable because everyone uses them. What is copyrightable is the exact rhythm, like the exact bass line, because usually chord progressions are married into the bass line. The bass line is really what's dictating the harmonic groove and the harmonic sound, and then there's the groove of the bass line itself, and that I think is copyrightable because it's very unique. You cannot have it's basically like people will know that that's the bass line from that song because it will be felt. The actual harmony of the chord progression is not copyrightable. So for her to say that she borrowed a chord progression from Taylor Swift's song, that alone does not mean plagiarism. I haven't heard it yet, but that alone is not. But she does seem to say, she mentions Taylor Swift too much. She just mentions her too much. Stop mentioning Taylor Swift. Stop saying that you are deriving your work from Taylor Swift, and then maybe then you will not be perceived as plagiarizing. The song's title is inspired by the phrase "one steps forward and two steps back," but replaces the two with the three, which has been associated with Swift's lucky number 13. What the fuck are you talking about? That would piss me off. Why are you mentioning Taylor Swift when this has nothing to do with her? I guess because whoever is editing this article is basically saying that Olivia Rodrigo is deriving her work by plagiarizing Taylor Swift, and therefore they keep mentioning Taylor Swift. That's annoying. Why don't bring this on yourself. Stop. Like, one steps forward, three steps back. That has nothing to do with the number 13. That has nothing to do with Taylor Swift. I would hate to be like, whenever you're mentioned, someone else is mentioned. Like, why are you mentioning that person? Like, it's not about them. But then again, this is the song that she is saying that she did interpolate something from the record. So my point, this is being petty. One steps forward, three steps back has nothing to do with Taylor Swift, but they want it to be perceived that way. Now I'm upset at Olivia Rodrigo because she is selling herself in a way that is like making her seem that she is intending on deriving her work from Taylor Swift, and therefore Taylor Swift fans are gonna be like, well, stop deriving Taylor work from Taylor Swift, even though we like her music, even though we like the sound of the music. That doesn't mean that we are okay with you plagiarizing her. Like, that's sort of what at the core of it is. Olivia saying, I came up with the one step forward concept, and I sort of wrote a verse and a chorus, and when I got home, I was in the car on a road trip, and when I got home, I decided to sing it over the chords of New Year's Day, I think they're really beautiful chords. I was lucky enough to get that approved, and it's on the record now. That's like McDonald's coming up with a burger formula and then going to the Krabby Patty and then telling them, we based our formula based off the Krabby Patty formula. Why are you saying to people that you're deriving your work from somebody else? Like don't. I don't know. I am. I don't think there's drama here. I think that Olivia Rodrigo is a genuine Taylor Swift fan. She didn't want to be fighting with Taylor Swift. She really did derive some parts of her song from Taylor Swift. I just don't think that what she did was worth 50% of the royalties. It's not that similar. There are similarities, but they're not similar enough. If she had just shown, if she had stopped glazing Taylor Swift, like stop, why are you glazing Taylor Swift when you are doing your own music? It's not about Taylor Swift. Like she's just glazing her too much. She's mentioning her too much. Just don't mention Taylor Swift. Just don't mention her.